Everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Nicole, so I'm going to just go ahead and start. Now this isn't a sight you see every day. It's around lunchtime, and I'm in the cafeteria to grab a bite to eat. I just don't expect to find Ted here too. I'm not saying I'm some sort of cafeteria regular, but I rarely see him here. Actually, I rarely see Ted around campus in general. I figure he must be working when he's not at school. Well, this is too rare an opportunity to pass up. I tightly grip my lunch tray as I go over to join him. I don't want to stumble and wind up spilling chicken soup all over him. Though that would be kind of hilarious. Ted has the table all to himself, and papers are fanned out in front of him. Is he doing some kind of project? Oh man, I hope I didn't forget something in criminology class. Please don't tell me that's for criminology. Ted doesn't even look up as I stop by his table side. Nope. Personal thing. If you're gonna join me, sit on the other side. I don't want you messing up the files. At least he didn't respond with, "Go away, Nicole," like I was expecting. Carefully, I seat myself opposite Ted. He's resting his forehead into a propped-up palm, and the corner of his lip is between his teeth. Whatever he's doing, he's sure thinking hard about it. You don't want me to ask what you're doing, huh? Nope, but you're gonna ask anyway, aren't you? I grin. It's nice that he knows me by now. If that's not for class, what is it? It looks like you're having a hard time. I try to lean over to read what's on the papers, but Ted shoots me a glare strong enough to push me back. Classified. Can't let you do that. Then just tell me what you're doing already. Ugh. Fine. I'm planning out an employment strategy. Ted briefly holds up a paper and I see the words "now hiring" at the top in big bold letters. Ah, so it must be for your store, right? Bingo. Remember that guy who ran out the last time you were there? You mean the one you let get away? Ted blushes angrily and tilts his head. Shut up. That doesn't matter. Point is, he don't hang around the store anymore. Did he quit? He was fired. Yikes. I should have seen that coming. Poor guy. I can only imagine how hard Ted was on him. Now I have to hire someone to take his place. Right now, I'm planning out what to put on the flyer and where to post them. I've already made a list of establishments that allow advertising, organized by distance, of course. I stare at Ted stunned in silence. All of this just to hang up flyers? I don't think you have to go that far. Wrong. I have to make sure that the best possible message is spread in the best possible manner to reach the best possible people. That way, I'm guaranteed to get the best possible replacement. Ted returns to sorting through the papers he has on the table. Get it? Not really. What's the big deal? You might not get the best possible employee, but you'll probably get someone really good anyway. Ted stops what he's doing and looks up at me. His gaze is intense and without mercy. What did I do? That's settling, and settling is not something I'm gonna do with the store. It's too important for me to do that. Because it's your dad's. Something like that. He waves his hand like he's trying to shoo away an annoying bug. I ain't expecting you to understand. But don't get in my way and try to talk me out of this. I gotta do the best I can. Fine, I'll shut up. I look down at my bowl of chicken soup, suddenly remembering about it, and stir my spoon around the broth. I start eating quietly as Ted goes back to his work. You're some kind of perfectionist, huh? Ted regards me with a side glance as I speak through the corner of my mouth. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Noticing my trepidation, Ted takes pity on my poor soul. And what's wrong with that? If I do the best job I can, with all I can, then I can reap the rewards with no regrets. Yeah, but you're gonna get gray hair before you're 30. Ted scoffs and shakes his head. Have you seen my pa? It'll be a cold day in hell when that happens. Now, if you ain't gonna help, then shut up. I'm trying to work here, and I don't need to be laughing. I sorely spoon more of my soup into my mouth. At least he called me funny in his own way. What would you have to do for this job? Nothing too difficult. Work the register, stock the shelves, clean up, organize the back. I'd do the brunt of it, but I'd need to make sure whoever gets the job could do the rest. Oh, so it's pretty easy, huh? If you're competent. Okay, sign me up then. Ted jerks like I just punched him in the shoulder, and he looks up at me trying to gauge how serious I'm being right now. Don't tell me you're volunteering. What's with that face? It's only part-time, right? I could use the money. Ted sits back in his seat and crosses his arms stubbornly. It's not going to be as easy as just asking me. What makes you think I should hire you of all people? Look at it this way. I need a job, you need someone who thinks you're kinda scary. It's win-win. You think I'm scary? Ted acts like it's some sort of honor. Don't get too ahead of yourself, bucko. I only said kinda scary. I can handle working for you. Oh, really? Yes! Like, here, try me. Let's have an interview right now. Ted looks around the noisy cafeteria background. Okay, so it's not your typical professional setting, but it's gonna have to do. He sighs, resigned, and stacks all the papers he has into a neat pile. Fine. This'll be a good way to see how you are on your toes. I actually start to feel nervous as Ted cracks his knuckles and sits up straighter in his seat. You're done with your soup? No eating during the interview. Petulantly, I take one last sip, then push my tray to the side. I think Ted might be taking this a little too seriously. Now, Miss Grave. He arches a brow as I reflectively snort. I'm not used to him addressing me so formally. I simmer down as Ted glares at me. Sorry, what were you saying? I was going to ask, do you have any prior work experience? Well, I do some odd jobs around town, but it's nothing too extensive. Other than that, I didn't do much during high school. Wait, no, I babysat my brother. Does that count? Not really, but I'll take that into consideration. Tough crowd, though I should have expected it, considering it's Ted. I'm gonna have to do a really good job if I want to impress him. Alright, game face, Nicole. You have to show Ted that you want this. We go through the rigmarole of the usual interview. Ted asks me if I have any time constraints that would get in the way. Nope. Why I'm interested in the job. Because the money. And if I've ever heard of their store before. Kinda? And so on. I think I'm doing pretty well. Ted doesn't look like he thinks this is the dumbest idea anymore. Alright, final question. I quietly cheer under my breath. This is the home stretch. All I have to do is nail this question, and Ted will probably consider me for the job. If you had to describe yourself as a music genre, which genre would you be? Okay, say what? Could you repeat that question, please? Simply put, what kind of music would you be if you were music? Ted looks at me with a smug expectancy, like he just knew this question would trip me up. Fine, I'll show him. Get ready, because I'm going to hit this one out of the park. So for this one, you're going to want to choose country, because Ted is a country boy. I'd be, country music. Ted scoffs and shrinks back in his seat. I swear, if you said that because you think it will appeal to my southern sensibilities. No, hear me out. Don't jump the gun now. Ted looks unamused as I playfully mimic his accent. I cough and hastily return my voice to normal. Some people just can't appreciate a good joke. I'd be country music because I like to keep consistent. I follow the formula that works to produce satisfactory results, but sometimes I change it up to produce something better. For something I totally just ad-libbed on the spot, I think it sounds good. Ted must think the same thing because he's looking at me slack-jawed. How was that, boss? I guess that's a satisfactory answer. I would flash a victory sign if it wasn't so unprofessional. That'll teach Ted to never doubt me again. Ted hides his awe with a brusque humph and taps the edge of his papers against the table for effect. That concludes the interview. I release a pent-up breath and finally relax my back. I got a little shaky at the end here, but overall, I think that had to be good enough for Ted's standards. I hope it was, at least. So, do I shake your hand now? Nah, you're good. I think I've made up my mind anyhow. I lean across the table, pushing off the toes of my shoes so I've nearly reached Ted on the other side. And... Ted lowers his eyelids and stares at me dead straight in the eyes. You can have the job. His eyes clench shut as I let out a victorious whoop. Gonna make some bank. Only because it'd be a real pain to take way more time to hold interviews. You don't seem like you're a half-bad worker. I doubt you can be any worse than the last guy. Ew, please don't compare me to him. I'm so relieved, though. Now that the interview is over, I can finally go back to eating. My nerves are so frayed that I feel 10 times hungrier. When do I get to start? Please, not with your mouth full. I swallow, so Ted stops grimacing at me like I'm some sort of 4-year-old in a fancy restaurant. Better? Much. You can start after I talk to my pa about it. Once that's clear, I'll get in touch with you. Well, Ted grows a little bashful. That means I'm gonna need your number. Sure, no biggie. Give me yours while we're at it. I eye Ted, amused, as I pull out my phone from my pocket. You act like you're asking me out on a date. Shut it. I've never bothered with any of this. I wasn't sure if I was being too forward by asking. Well, here's some advice. Take a chill pill, boss. It's for work. I know, and don't call me that. Fine, Mr. Bossy. As soon as Ted's done groaning, we exchange numbers. The moment Ted's done entering mine into his phone, he returns it to his pocket and gets to his feet. Expect a call from me soon, Nicole. I'll be relaying your schedule to you once I've sorted it out. Okie doke. Are you going now? Well, there's no need to plan out my flyer distribution now that the problem's solved. Ted offers me a stiff farewell wave. So yeah, I'm out. I lift my hand to wave back, but Ted's already marching off before I get a chance. I'm getting a sinking feeling that working for this guy isn't going to be a walk in the park. But hey, money is money. There isn't anything I can't handle. Whatever Ted has in store, he can bring it. I'll show Mr. Perfect that I can work just as hard as he can. And I'm going to end it here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want to see more, just click the eye at the top, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.